Hey guys, Dylan here. I'm here with Aris Rodriguez. He is a master at e-commerce, has absolutely been crushing it. Aris, thanks so much for coming on and doing this interview with me, and especially for my group and my team. I definitely appreciate you taking the time out of your day. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how did you get involved with e-commerce?
Thank you, Dylan. Well, the way I got involved in e-commerce was I moved to my home city. I lived in Toronto for 22 years, and I moved over to a smaller city called Kingston. And here, I wanted to try something new that I've never done before. I was actually very introverted when I was younger, so I decided to get a sales job. And I wanted to sell something that I felt that I really believed in. So I'm like, I'm going to go do solar panel sales. This is going to be a lot of fun. We'll see how it goes, right? Do I have what it takes? So I spend months and months during the winter taking homes, and on the door, I would put this yellow sticker. And that sticker would make the lead call the company to set up a meeting. So I would go into their house and close a deal. So I did that 5,000 times. And from that 5,000, I went to my first deal ever. I've never had a mentor in sales. And I closed a deal for a $30,000 installation for solar panels. And I was shocked. I was really, really shocked. And I did it again the second time, and the third time, and the fourth, and the fifth. And I learned something about myself that I didn't know if I didn't otherwise try. Unfortunately, or fortunately, you could say, I actually got scammed by the company I worked for, and I only made around $300 for months and months of work. Yeah. So as you could expect, or anyone would be, I was a little bit upset at society, and I said, I'm not going to let my personal well-being be in someone else's hands. I'm going to start my own business and quit the 9-to-5 grind, which I'm really, really lucky. My father's an entrepreneur. But he never fully figured out how to automate systems. So he had to work a lot harder and be the typical small business owner that works in the business versus on the business, right? As Michael Gerber speaks about in the E-Myth Revisited.
Mm-hmm.
So crucial, right?
And that's funny you say that. Actually, I have the book right now. I've been reading it. It's
Awesome.
Great so far. Great so far.
Yeah, it's really, really, really good. So that came from me just starting in eBay. I actually spoke to this random guy online that did eBay drop shipping, and he was living a digital nomad lifestyle. And he just told me one golden nugget that I needed, right? In life, we're always going to find one mentor, one person that just planted a seed in our mind that will allow us to keep growing. So he gave me a access link with a coupon code to an amazing program to learn about eBay dropshipping, which I did. And I actually had my first eBay business when I was 14, but I didn't know about the model, right? The actual blueprint. So I learned that, did it pretty well, took a little bit of investments, got into Shopify by studying a course and studying another course and trying to figure out what I was doing. So around 3 months passed by, and I was making practically $10,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. And I know, remember, I saw where you were a year ago, and I know in the past with like tons of mentors and lots of investments into yourself, you've definitely grown a lot. Kind of my whole thing is I want to teach people how to get to that top 3%, right? How to separate yourself from the 97% of the average people. And I think you really kind of mastered the key of automating systems. You actually have students now for Shopify, correct?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I know you're telling me what's the biggest that you've actually had a student hit a month right now?
Yeah. So my most successful student actually hit $93,000 USD in a month.
Wow.
And said student already had some business before. They were not a marketing genius or anything like that, but using the correct perspective of having a website that converts and knowing what to do with Facebook ads, right, as an input to get traffic, to get leads, he was able to convert a decent idea into something really big. And the Facebook Pixel is an amazing tool that when you have it, you will literally be like American Sniper.
Yeah, that's one thing too. And a lot of the questions that I get from people too is, that everyone's always asking, what's the secret to Facebook and what's the secret to automation? And, I think back to it, when we literally went with our business probably a month and a half until we got a sale. And when we got one sale, I mean, it was a huge, we're like, yes, it felt like we won the lottery. And then we just kind of improved on it from there. So as far as I know, there really wasn't a secret. There's a lot of trial and error and testing and just kind of just going with the flow and figuring it out. But I know it's not what a lot of people want to hear. But, but for you, someone asks, hey, what's the secret to testing products and getting automation going? And is there a golden nugget that you have for people to be able to get them to that point where they're getting the type of sales that you and your students are getting?
Yeah. So to put that into perspective, I'm going to go to someone that has a store that's made $5 million, and I'll tell you what I learned from them. Even they themselves, to this day, still run their own Facebook ads, right? I think if the central goal is to have a fully automated business immediately, it's not a realistic goal. The realistic goal is learning ads so well yourself so you're able to delegate it to your employees and have a team. To have a team to make a $5 million store from some of the best people I've learned, they pay their employees $10,000 a month. They have 5 employees and they're A+ players. They make the landing pages. One just does Facebook ads. One just replies to customer service. One just creates a custom Shopify store. And that's the $5 million level. Now let's scale down in contrast to the realistic starting number for people, because we're going to start at a $5 budget per day. And with that $5 budget, you're going to minimize your risk of investment and you're able to do multiple tests. For example, if you have a budget of, I think, $1,300, you can do 86 3-day tests.
86 3-day tests.
Right. And there's no other business where you can launch an MVP so quickly than Facebook ads. There's no other business where you can prove a niche so quickly, right? In the traditional business, you need to design a product, right? Come up with a branding, logo, packaging, how to get it to the customer, lick the labels, and send it out, versus just having a product that's already done for you. So what I like to think of as automation is, how can I leverage the suppliers and the customers to not have to use my own capital to start the business, right? How to use tools for email marketing and Facebook ads to leverage traffic. That in itself is already automation.
Right.
Right.
Email marketing is definitely powerful. Free
yeah.
money.
It's free money. So I think, Facebook ads and Instagram shout outs and all this, it's a money printing business. And can only be so if you know where your bullets are going, right? So for example, if someone is starting off with Facebook ads, it can be like an AK-47 with an automatic clip. The clip can drain in 3 seconds, right? And each bullet's made out of gold. But if those sights are off, you're going to waste a lot of money. It will easily take your money and rob you, right? Facebook, I'm sure you've seen the show Narcos.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically Facebook is like that. They're like the drug mafia. They will send you junk traffic if you don't know what you're doing and you get greedy, right? That's why it's super crucial to scale slowly. And on one level, you could say this is conventional wisdom, because I know of people that spend $5,000 a day from day one for ad budgets. But that's a different story. What I'm speaking of is just for the regular person that wants to start a store. It's just really a $5 a day budget, believe it or not.
Right. So realistically, people that are either struggling financially, want to develop another income stream. It's like, hey, instead of going and getting that Starbucks coffee, you can just take your $5 and put it to Facebook and then test something and then get a return on your investment.
Exactly, right? And that's exactly how it is. And to tie in the whole picture for automation, what we're going to try to do, and what anyone should try to do, is have the systems in place so you don't scale with emotion, and you have virtual assistants that you can use to do simple things like reply to comments on your ads. For example, I have some ads that easily get to 300, 400 shares, and there's all these comments, and you need to reply to them to engage your customer, right? Because a lot of people don't do this. You have to go above and beyond for your customer, provide them unique messages. Sometimes people even put pictures of their items they upload. They're so passionate about it, right? Because we'll try to sell to a passionate audience.
Yeah, I know too. What we're seeing is Facebook bots seems to be the new form of automation. And it's actually really powerful for responding for you on messaging and completing certain tasks. And we've been testing that a lot, and we're actually getting pretty amazing results. So it seems like the market's like forever changing. Before it used to be so hard. Back in the day, you used to have tons of capital just to start a business, and then you have people like you just throwing up a store, and then testing products online using eBay, Amazon, and Shopify, and spending $5 for testing, and then scaling. And it's just really crazy how much it's changed and how easy it is. But a lot of people don't realize it.
Yeah.
They don't know that they can do. And I think they're just intimidated by the internet, and I think they have to set up this website. They have to know all this special coding and skills. And so what would you say to those type of people? If they really are struggling with another income stream, what would you say to them to try to get started on something like that?
Yeah, so that's a great question, right? And I was speaking to a lot of people on the phone recently, doing some free strategy sessions, and I found a direct correlation between people's wealth and how many books they were reading. So, for example, I was speaking to, you could say, some people that are already successful but want to make more, but some other people that are trying to get their life truly figured out. And I asked them, how many books have you read in the last 30 days? How many mentors and courses have you seeked out in the last 30 days? And their answer was 0. So I told them, are you surprised by the results you've had so far? Are you surprised, right? And they weren't surprised. We often know what we should do. And the difference between very successful people and people that are not successful, and I'm saying in relation to business or other parts in life, is they don't take the chance to follow their instinct, right?
Yeah, right. And don't be fooled, for those that are watching. It's very powerful having mentors and the right coaches. And I know when Aris just got a little taste of it, he went through some really, really high level mentors. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that? Who are your mentors in your life right now, and the biggest impact it's had?
Yeah, so I'm really, really grateful and to be so lucky to be in the right place in life. Not only did I get the mentee of Ty Lopez and Dan Pena, the $50 man, Matt Posius himself, I also went to go visit Ty Lopez this year at his, mansion and condo called Knowledge Society, which is actually 2 penthouse condos put together with like the craziest view of LA, right in West. So nice. West Hollywood view. Really, really fantastic. And at that business builder, I dealt with people that when you ask them a question, they're so advanced, they don't even answer you, right? They won't even answer you. Some people that have raised IPOs, and I met people younger than me making 50x money I have, right? So it was very interesting to be around that. And not only to close the night having Ty Lopez talk and be able to ask him questions. And what I'm going to with all this, and what I think will be valuable for anyone watching, was I asked Ty, I said, how to motivate yourself and reward yourself. And he told me, he said, well, to everyone, right? He said, my wealthiest friends found a way to motivate themselves the simplest. So just give an example here. You have Mark Cuban, billionaire. His reward was a basketball and a hoop. He just bought a basketball stadium to go to the stadium and shoot hoops for fun. What's simpler than that? He's genius, right?
Right.
That's such a simple pleasure in life. So I think there's a lot of importance and curiosity. And Charlie Munger talks about this, which is the partner of Warren Buffett, if anyone doesn't know Charlie Munger. And Charlie Munger, what he says is, I've always been innately curious. If you aren't, figure out your own damn system.
Yeah.
Right? It takes a lot of curiosity and passion to succeed in business. You have to get addicted to what you're trying to learn. That's why I've tried to read and make some of the greatest books of all time my best friends, because with that knowledge I can apply it to what I'm trying to do. So I've been addicted to knowledge, to seeking mentors, and to tie in that as well, meeting Matt. Your life really changes when you meet an A-plus player.
Wow.
When you meet someone that's so advanced that, guess what? You're never going to catch up. And I'm not saying not to have a competitive spirit. Everyone needs to have a little bit of competition to be their best. But it's also important to realize when someone is so far ahead of you that even if you tried, you couldn't catch up. So why not take advantage? And I don't want to use the word take advantage, because it's actually a win-win on both parties, right? By leveraging money, which is the most abundant resource,
right,
compared to the scarcest resource, which is time. You can just cut your learning curve and just rock it out.
Right. And that's one thing I noticed that a lot of people that I see struggling is they always have the new shoes, they have the newest iPhone and everything, but that they never, when it comes to a simple answer of, what do I do next? It's like, well, why don't you find someone successful and pay them for their time? Take that money and put it for something else, and they don't. I think that's the biggest thing that I see stopping a lot of people. And even watching people like you, who do go to like these big events and stuff, and then just seeing the boom, the jump start that it has in your income and everything, and learning new systems. And that seems to be the hardest part, is just finding a system that works and then constantly improving it. And it's hard, starting out, like finding your own system and creating it. That seems to be the toughest part for people. And sometimes that's intimidating. But what I always like to tell people is, even someone at your level, yeah, sure, I may not be able to learn e-commerce and be at the level that you're at, but can I get enough skill to do 10% of what you do? Is that 10% of what you're capable of do enough to build an extra stream of income for myself? So it may not ever get to the level that you're at, but in my head, logically, it just makes sense. So people think they're going to get those same results. So that makes sense what you're talking about. You'll never get to this level, but who cares? What if you do 10% of what Ty Lopez does, or 10% of what Matt Poshis does? Would that have a drastic impact on your life?
Exactly. That's a great question. And to tie again to the answer I was saying about motivation, intrinsic motivation is what sets a leader apart from followers. The ability to intrinsically motivate yourself, inner motivate yourself, requires great energy, inner peace, calmness, rational decision making, logical mental frameworks to be able to tackle on life, especially business, right? If someone only knows the philosophy of macroeconomics, he or she will be a terrible investor. If said investor understands biography, history, physics, which can predict the future, mathematical models, simple things like inversion, flipping a problem from big to small. These are all tools which we can use to succeed. And to motivate yourself intrinsically, there's rewards that you need to reprogram yourself to have. For example, I have been lucky enough to reward myself with books. My reward is actually reading. For a lot of people, it causes pain, but for me, it causes great pleasure.
Right. And actually, that's funny you say that, because I get, my girlfriend laughs all the time how excited I get whenever I get books in the mail. But I've been doing so many personal development books that I used to read a lot of fantasy. So I actually put on my my daily rewards, if I read X amount of books, I'm going to reward myself with time to read a fiction book. So I kind of took that out of my life. So I'm like, you know what? Why don't I reward myself with more reading, but it'll just be a different type of genre. So I definitely can see the impact of that. So, so last minute for those that have no idea about automation, no idea about business, what 3 books would you recommend to somebody?
So the 3 main books I would recommend for somebody to understand, and I think this is the most important part that not a lot of people are going to talk about. It's the exit strategy of the business, right? No, no one I've ever learned from has taught an exit strategy for e-commerce. And there's assets with e-commerce that you cannot have with Amazon, such as your own logo, your own domain name, an email list of potentially thousands or if not millions, right? And these are very, very valuable assets that when investors will see that, wow, this store made net income of XYZ, we will pay them out 3 times to 30 times their annual income, right? And there's certain tricks, super, super advanced tricks that can teach you how to have an exit strategy with your Shopify store, for example. And that's what makes a difference in the long run. Why build a business that you're not going to sell?
Right. And these are all principles that you teach with all your students and your coaching, and
Yep.
you help them build an e-commerce store, teach them automation, exit strategy, all one-on-one.
Exactly, right. And that's the specialty. I created this kind of one-on-one consulting, and guidance, because when I started out, nobody gave the time to talk to me on the phone.
Right.
Literally nobody. I spent $8,000 in a course, and I didn't even get to speak to the person that created the course for a single minute. So I felt very disconnected, and I'm the kind of person, I want to fly out and meet my students. Like, there's people out there that have been scammed in the past, and I understand that they're skeptical. I face this a lot, and that's a really terrible thing. I feel for those people, There's many people that offered something, but they didn't deliver in the value, right? And they didn't follow the 10x value rule.
Right.
They didn't follow a simple rule, right? And they forgot, a reputation in life takes many years to build, but it can be destroyed in 5 minutes. That's why I'm consistently putting testimonials on my Facebook of success I have with people. I want people to know that, you can do this too. These are realistic numbers. I show people testimonials of a $15 sale, of a $100 sale. I want them to know that a single mom I was speaking to the other day, she had $900 left, and she has 2 kids at home. It was a couple days before Mother's Day, and she was really broken. I said, listen, I really feel for you. Let's do a quick strategy call. In 11 minutes, guys, I described to a single mom in her 30s or 40s how to operate and use Instagram. And a few days later, she made $418.99. Single mom, 2 kids. She was super emotional about it. She only had $900 left, but she doubled her money. Why? Because she had the accurate knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Definitely one-on-one time. To be honest, with a lot of my mentors have helped tremendously. You can just ask specific questions, and even if you're reading books or courses, nothing is valuable as having one-on-one time. Well, that's awesome. Do you have any last minute tips or gold nuggets for people, maybe on on automation, getting started? What would you say to people that really want to really jumpstart ahead, or already have a business and they want to learn about automating or adding another income to it?
So I think the main thing everyone should aim for and optimize for is stability and security when you start your business. This is so super, super, super crucial. You need to go level by level and ratchet on. If you try to go from $10 a day to $1,000 a day, you're going to have big problems, because the systems you have in place that work for only $10 a day will not work at $10,000 a day. There's a big difference.
We've made the scaling too fast mistake where it was a lot of problems at once, and then we were just like, whoa. I know exactly what you're talking about. So that's very good advice.
Exactly.
Would have told us that ahead of time.
Exactly. And knowing how to have a PayPal set up correctly as well, right?
Hmm.
I've had my PayPal frozen, and you know what? Now that I look at it, no, nothing is good or bad, only the way we perceive it. And I'm
Hmm.
glad I had that problem. Imagine I had a business making multi-millions per year, and the PayPal got frozen, and I had like employees with kids and families all in person. They had to pay mortgages, right? So I learned this mistake really early on, and how to prevent it in the future, which I don't want to happen to other people, guys. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. You
Yeah,
really don't want this to
yeah,
happen.
PayPal doesn't like a large jump in the influx of change. Their system's very complex. We learned that the hard way as well, and it kind of put a stop to the business, and we had to rescale. So that's very very keen advice. Cool. Well, Aris, thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Guys, click the links below. Make sure you're following Aris on YouTube. Talks about e-commerce, Shopify, lots of gold nuggets for automation. And click the link below, subscribe to my YouTube channel, join our Facebook group. We're going to have an awesome day sometime soon. We're actually going to have Aris live doing a webinar if you'd like to attend, where he actually shows you how to build a store from scratch on what, Shopify, Aris?
Yeah, so we'll build a store scratch, A to Z, start to finish, of a complete MVP fundamental that will show you the possibilities, right? Because what I really want to show you guys on this webinar is your real potential. But not only just your real potential, I want to give you guys absolute certainty of your real potential.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, well, thanks so much for your time, Aris. I appreciate it. Guys, stay tuned for the webinar. Make sure you join the Facebook group below. Follow Aris, and everyone have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate it. I wish everyone luck.
Thank you, Aris.